Good night, Helma Johnson. I got this good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J, Spirit Divine. I'm here to get a short news and a word on tonight. Um, um, this is pretty much all day from this morning. Speaker Mike Johnson. Um, Mike Johnson, Republican Speaker, but also he have to communicate with the Democrat. Now his bill had package what he did the other day. It didn't agree with everybody, not even his Republican. They disagreed. So he went to the next house, which was the Democrat. The bill they used, you know, um, it went through the military funding for Ukraine. So it still got used. A lot of people just disagree because he had one bill and he was going to try to split it in all different ways. And that wasn't going to work. But it still got part of it, got used. Um, we keeping Mike Johnson as the speaker. You know, uh, we see with the Republican when the speakers make one mistake, y'all just ready to get rid of them. But we're gonna keep Mike Johnson in position because you know what happened last time. We need the stuff to be signed, and we didn't have no speaker because y'all had let him go. So we're not gonna go through that this time. We're gonna keep Mike Johnson as a speaker. And if y'all want to find someone else, you can do so. But he's still gonna be in position until y'all find someone. So we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. We're not going to keep his spot empty. While trying to find another one. So let's keep Mike Johnson until you find another person. So I request that his position would not be vacant. We're gonna keep him on. So and I do have a word. Now I start with so when I like to put like I did with Elijah, did the book of Elijah all up, in order. Now I want to do Daniel with the training because it gonna tell you how the jealousy came on when we get to chapter 3 when Daniel and I get to chapter 3 tomorrow when Daniel when it got to chapter 3 they were so jealous of him because he was equipped because this training right here made him equipped and then so God gave him gifts also what also gonna make him smart and knowledge and understanding, so when he get there, they gonna think he all that because he gonna be smart and intelligent. So that's why I wanna do the training first, with where you can get why they were so jealous when you get to chapter 3. So Daniel, chapter 1, verse to 121. Now in the third year of the reign of King and Julia. Now this king name is so long, so I'm gonna say King of Babylon came to Jerusalem and besieged in it. So the king became king in Babylon in September of the year. Now he swept into the loud Judah and surrounded Jerusalem to make Judah a vessel in the state. So in the Lord deliverance, the king of Judah into his hand along with some other articles from the temple of God. These he carried was out to the temple in his God and God Babylon. That's the small God of Babylon and put in, so that's how he gonna get in a fire. I mean a lion's den because this king here making up his small God. So time we get in chapter 3, he gonna want them to bow down to this God. You know, and so this king supreme leader of Babylon, because of their lack of obedience, God allowed this king to conquer Judah. Now this king take on all the items, from the temple and put them with the item of his God. So he gonna take He gonna take some stuff out to put his God, in the temple, and so then the king ordered. So that's how the guys, got caught in the fires. The other guys, all that's in Daniel too. It's the king order, chief of his court official to bring, into the king's service some of the Israelite from the royal family, you know. So he want to bring in some of the Israelite, so that the royal family, he wants to bring in. Now Daniel and his friends were bloodline. So Daniel family, young men with only, out any physical defect, handsome, showing up for every kind of learning well in the form of quick understanding and qualified, and so the service in the king palace, he was to teach them the language and legacy in Babylon. And so they're gonna go to training they're gonna go to training for 10 days. And so the Jews you are chosen to serve the king code was physical. Now he got some of the Israelite, and they know not to serve no other gods. Now the Gentile national often interpreted attractive appearance to mean the God of gift, the individual. So God gonna give them gifts. He gonna give them gifts. And so the king signed them there because once you get your gifts, you have to eat a certain way. You can't eat the big heavy food. You have to eat light. So what they used to eat. So the king assigned them to a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. And then there was to train for three years. And after they were to enter into the king's service. Now see, they eating the food, they eating the wine and all that, but once they get their gifts, you have to eat vegetables and all that. So these young men, after their training, were 3 years daily food at the king's table. Now God had caused the official to show favor on and compassionate on Daniel, and so this was gonna come in at. Now that's why when they put Daniel in the lion's den, that's why the king had compassion on David, because in this here package here, God had this king to show favor on Daniel. So that's why he gonna still have favor with Daniel, once you get to chapter 3. So that's why I did this one, so you can see, so it gonna transfer over to 3. So that's why the king has so much compassion on David. And so because God gonna have him to show favor. So God had moved in an unseen hand to change the heart of this Babylon official. And now God used the king to show favor to Daniel. That's why they will be jealous of him and they will try to find wrong in him. And so that's what it is. The king showed favor on Daniel. And this jealousy start now. And so they wants to be jealous. And they're going to want to try to find wrong in him. And that's how they do. And they can't find nothing on you. They'll make a story on you to say, see, the devil don't like for you to have a good character. The devil like to tear it all up. Then you got a good character. He had God had the king to favor him, and that favor turned some people to jealousy. So Daniel then said to the God who the chief official had appointed over Daniel. Now 3 guys over him had tested his servants 10 days. In 10 days they had wanted food. They wanted food. But now, they had to get on a special diet. Vegetables, and water. That's it. They looking for the wine and stuff. And they looking for the food and stuff. Y'all about to get gifts and all that, so you have to eat vegetables and water. That's all. Now, Daniel received permission from his supervisor stewards to eat only vegetables, and water for 10 days. They had to do this for 10 days. Test the first time they was awful food, but now they have to be on a diet and they have to just do the vegetable and the water. So at the end of the 10 days, they look better, cause see, water make them look better. Vegetables, so after 10 days, after they ate vegetables and just water, it cleared their skin. They looked better. They looked neutral, and then any of the young men who ate the raw food, you see, they weren't even supposed to eat the food, So God's servants, God honor Daniel church to evolve to unclean food to prepare for the Persian king. So that's how the rest of the guys didn't come along with Daniel in chapter 3. Because they wanted to eat the food. They weren't supposed to eat the food. They were supposed to follow Daniel with the vegetables and the water. So these 4 men, God had given knowledge and understanding of all kind of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand vision and dreams of all kind. So that's why Daniel is able to interpret dreams. He's able to understand dreams. Because God had given him gifts. Now God give everybody different gifts. Some people might have the same gifts. But he gave him gifts to interpret dreams. Now they gonna have these Michigan, magician. Magician. He gonna have these magicians they're supposed to be real smart. But then the gifts that God gave Daniel gonna out top them. And so God gave Daniel special ability to interpret the meaning of vision and dream. Now God give these 4 young men knowledge and skills in both books of life. Hey, that book of life that's in the book of Norman. Now God made Daniel a gift in understanding. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which king questioned them. Now he found them 10 times better than all the magician. I don't know why I keep pronouncing it wrong. Now, in his whole kingdom. Now, these magicians, they been in the kingdom. So they been was smart. They was taking over, do all that, okay? But now Daniel came along. Daniel and 4 guys came along. God gave them knowledge and understanding and everything. So they able to interpret people's dreams, give them a meaning and everything. They top these Mexican. So they top them. And they're supposed to be the best. And so Daniel, and these 4 guys, they smart. Outsmart the magician. They outsmart these magicians. Now God made these 4 men knowledge, than all the magicians that they are said to be 10 times better. It's figured out of the speech to emphasize that they clear superior as counselor and advisor. So God was their counselor and advisor. You know, so that's just like with my reading and stuff. Excuse me. That's just like I said with my reading. I'm trying to buy cars and I'm visualizing what I'm supposed to get the cars and I'm supposed to do this here. And God was in my dream. God said, every time the girl tried to teach me in the vision, before she could tell me anything, God was already giving me the answer. He was giving me an answer, In other words, he would let me know you don't need cars. I thought I need training. He said you don't need the cars. And so God was their counselor. He honored Daniel. And so then Daniel remained there until the first year of the king Now we see that God touched the king's heart to get Daniel favor. That was the first thing, and he was in his training. His training took 3 years. Now also God had give these 4 men gifts, where they had understanding and knowledge 10 times better than the magician. And so I just wanted to bring on the first one. So when we come to chapter 3 tomorrow, you'll see why they're so jealous of Daniel. Because the king gonna still have compassion on Daniel from the training. So he gonna come in, already skilled, trained, and he gonna already, write little notes down, and he just come from training. They ain't gonna like that. They gonna be thinking he think he all that. They're gonna be jealous. And he beat himself. He prayed 3 times a day. And they just like he don't entertain them, and they wants to find something wrong with him because he doing his job and minding his own business. And so that's the story on Daniel and training. You know, led to what the jealousy come from. It come from the king have compassion on Daniel. You know, and so that's all. Oh, I did talk about. I talk about let's keep Mike Johnson Republic Speaker. Let's keep him on. Let's keep this going. And so don't we don't want his position to be vacant. So we're gonna keep her in position. Y'all decide you wanna find somebody else, you can find somebody else, but we're gonna keep him in position until you find someone else. You know, and so we don't want his spot empty because we went through that trouble the last time. And so also I was telling you a little something about the reading. Also you can book me for some reading, predict your future, whatever the case. Maybe you need. I'm also a spiritual healer. You know, missing divine. A missing divine. If you need some me to locate your loved ones, I can do that. My email gonna be down below. Thank you, and y'all have a nice and safe night. I'll see you on the next video.